presentation, I'd like to introduce Judy Eisner. Judy Eisner, who is with Kestrel Plus and was a long and close friend of Alexander Dawson. And since the conference is dedicated to Alexander, we're not going to be able to go up any higher than here. Anyway, thank you. If I can have your attention and you're quiet for a few moments, I want to turn this over to Judy.
That's fine. Can you all hear me? If you can't, I can shout. Closer, closer. Now you can hear me. I was a past president of MACC too, and Alexandra and I met some 36 years ago when I was a new conservation commissioner, and she was wandering around the halls talking to all kinds of important people. And she was just this funny, informed lecturer and an obvious idol for MACC folks. And she always has been an obvious idol, for as long as I've ever known her. Somehow, over the course of many meetings and many long drives and many committees and causes and discussions and decisions, she and I became friends, and I am still amazed. I don't know how it happened. But I have found that everybody had some special relationship with Alexandra. I watched her use her charm and her humor and her careful preparation and occasionally her temper to get the job done. She loved good lawyers. She loved working with Greg and with Ned Dawson and with George Hall and all of the various attorneys that came across her path if they were good and if they were worthy opponents. Did you like that? She respected consultants she could trust not to bend the science. But I think there was a special place in her heart for all of the volunteers, all of those foot soldiers, citizens who were willing to come out and do battle and to fight for the environment and to do what was right in their towns for the law and the environment. It was fitting, I think, that organizations did tributes for her earlier while she was still there to enjoy them. MACC threw a big party in 2001 and established the Alexander Dawson Legal Action Fund. And EPA gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award. Kestrel Land Trust threw a big birthday party as she entered her year. And the town of Hadley named a conservation area after her, right near her house along the Connecticut River. Beautiful spot, she loved to walk there. In 2002, Conservation Law Foundation had a 36th year anniversary, and somebody wrote then that after one day as a CLF volunteer, this was in 1966, Alexandra knew what she wanted to do with the rest of her life. She wanted to answer the phone. It's so true, because she answered the phone when she was at CLF, and she said that she learned quantities of law. And then she kept answering the phone for CLF and for MACC later, and she would give away everything she knew to anybody who called and asked for it. She was amazing that way, because she knew a lot. Now that her voice is silent, the rest of us are going to have to speak for the land. Even when it seems to be a good cause, we don't want to see her abused. We're going to have to speak up more often, think more comprehensively, collaborate and compromise, and conserve more effectively. And she's not going to be there to prod us along, so we'll have to kind of do it ourselves. We face some difficult choices about how to use our resources in the coming years, and I hope we can find good answers to the hard questions that Alexandra posed in her last column. I copied that, and there are a few copies, well, about 50 copies here. But in that last column that she wrote for the Daily Hampshire Gazette for 30 years, once a month, she did all of the stories that were pertinent to the day, that were pertinent to the region, trying to help citizens just kind of understand what the law and the environment and policy was about. Alexandra gave her advice and her assistance right up until she had no more strength to keep giving it. And today has been dedicated to learning, like it always is, and it's been dedicated to remembering her. And I hope it will also be a day that we rededicate ourselves for the work she loved and that still needs to be done. It's with great pleasure that I present one last honor on behalf of the organization that she loved and worked so hard to sustain. It is a Lifetime Achievement Award presented in honor of Alexandra Dawson in recognition of Alexandra's passion, brilliance, talent, and fearless advocacy to protect nature in New England for future generations. And this is her son, Adam. And her daughter, Rachel.
I don't have a lot to say. I just wanted to thank you all for the recognition and respect. It means a great deal to me, and I know it would mean a great deal to my mother as well. So thank you.